Welcome on this beautiful fall day in September, towards the end of September, almost October. Last week, fall started. It saw the beginning of the fall, the official beginning of the fall, in which we had warm weather throughout the whole week in the eastern portion of the United States of America. It's unseasonably warm, but if you live in the eastern portion of this country, I doubt that you are complaining because you have the benefits of the warm weather without some of the nuisances like mosquitoes and other critters that are not lingering around. It's been 5 years and 9 months since the first reported case of COVID-19. The first reported case was December 19th, 2019. But it's been 5 years and 6 months since the World Health Organization determined that we were under a pandemic. 13.6 billion administered worldwide. That's the number of vaccinations that were given worldwide. 13.6 billion. The top 10 countries that had the vaccine administered to them were these as follows. China, 3.5 billion vaccinations. India, 2.2 billion vaccinations. The United States of America, 700 million vaccinated. Brazil, 515 million vaccinated. Indonesia, 448 million vaccinated. Japan, 409 million vaccinated. Bangladesh, 360 million vaccinated. Pakistan, 341 million vaccinated. Vietnam, 266 million vaccinated. And finally, to round off the top 10, Mexico, 222 million vaccinated. What has changed since that time? What is now the case that wasn't the case before? What did we learn? Has there been any debriefing since this period of time? Has anyone decided to just consider avoiding the medical industry altogether? Or are there still people that have 100% full trust in the medical industry? Sports participation in the United States of America are as follows, meaning the amount of people that play given sport in the United States of America, and this pool was taken from ages 14 to 18, otherwise known as high school. Outdoor track and field, 1.1 million participants. Football, it's American football, 1 million participants. Basketball, 896,000. For soccer, 877,000. And to round off the top 5 of the most participated sport in high school in the United States of America, baseball/softball, 810,000. That's a lot of permission slips. That's a lot of parental activity. That's a lot of time dedicated to sport. That's a lot of dreams waiting to be realized, without counting the ones that did not make it. It's without counting the amount of people that did everything that they needed to do as they were told to participate in these sports 5 years ago, 5 years and 6 months ago. Social distancing or social proxemics varies by culture, and these are the top. This is the top country that remains the most distant, meaning while having a conversationally, this country stands 4 feet and 7 inches away from the person that they're talking to. And this country is a European country, and that country is Romania. The country that takes up the least or the lowest amount of space between themselves and the person they're talking to is Argentina with 2 feet 6 inches. And again, these numbers, they vary according to whether it's a rural population or a more urban population. If you are aware of your surroundings, other people don't have to watch your surroundings for you. Be aware of your surroundings. Look up from your iPhone once in a while, or OIAW. Here are some other things that you can do to remain alert. Cross the street. Look back. Tuck in your chains. I see a lot of people walking through the streets with their chains out, and it's a figure of a crucifix. Let's say it's a golden crucifix. Yeah, well, the person's not looking at your religious affiliation. They're looking at that cross and how much it will be worth on the black market somewhere. So tuck in your chains, even when you're traveling. It's a good habit just to tuck in your jewelry. You can go from a target to being just a plain civilian just by tucking in your chains. And looking back, yes, well, if you know who's behind you and you know who's around you, you don't have to be surprised when such person is now in front of you waiting to assault you. Cross the street, well, it goes along with street smarts. If you see from far away, you've been blessed with the gift of sight. If you're looking at this video, if you see someone coming from far away, you have the ability to assess. And part of that assessment is, do I have a good chance to make it down that street? Even if it's from far away, if I can cross the street, I might have a better chance. Is there some kind of danger? It doesn't only have to come in the shape of a person, but there might be some electrical wire that's now fizzing out of control, waiting to electrocute you as you pass by in high voltage. And also because most people, if they see you getting electrocuted, they're probably going to record instead of find the best solution to help you. Have your keys ready. Having your keys ready means that you are not waiting outside your car for a long period of time or outside your door for a long period of time, giving someone else the chance to catch up to you before you are behind a locked door. With that being said, lock your door. Being inside, and just because you are in a safe neighborhood or a neighborhood where the crime rate is not as dominant, does not mean that you are exempt from criminal element. Have your keys ready. Choose a different path. Changing the way that you move away from your home, on the way back to your home, and also on the way to work will keep from your steps, from your regular patterns, being known by somebody that wishes to do you harm. And that could be anyone. So in the process of remaining safe, you might want to change up your regular pattern of transportation to where you're going, especially if you're always walking to the park or to your jog in the same manner. You might want to take another way where no one is expecting you, and even if you're on your way, it's also good to say hi to some people, just because if they have to describe you later to someone, then they know, well, this is how the person looked. I know that they always come this way. I expect they usually wear this. They usually have their noise canceling headphones on. They're dressed in spandex. And he or she has this regular route. And I know because I am acknowledged by them. So in part of safety, it means being acknowledged by someone else. And you also seeing other people so they know who you are. A big part of gaining public trust is you have to become amicable to regular people that you see all the time on the street. You have to remain open to that interaction that can save your life. That person might be able to jump in and lend you a hand if they know you. I know now with the cell phones and we're all in our own worlds, but the human aspect of connection and familiarity still remains. Choose a different path. Leave before it's too late. So you went to the party, hey, the sun's still up. It was 9 o'clock at night when you got there, which is already late, but now it's past midnight because you're having such a good time and most of your friends have left and you have no other way of getting home but to rely on another mode of transportation that you were not expecting, or to stay where you are, which can be in a group of people that you don't really know. You really don't know what their trust level is. You don't really know what you can expect from them. So leave before it gets too late. If you came with somebody, by rule of thumb, leave when they leave. Even if you met someone, I'm sure you could catch up later. Whatever's going to happen in that party or you expect it to happen in the party can happen at any other time with someone that you wanted to get to know a little better. This is particularly for younger people, but also young adults that many times seems to be clueless when it comes to the dangers around them. What you want to do is beat whatever danger is coming to the punch. It's not 100% foolproof, but you have to be able to protect yourself and not depend on the kindness of others as well as law enforcement to protect you when you can protect yourself. So leave before it gets too late. Call ahead. If you're going to an area, especially an area that you don't know, or you're going to meet someone that you don't know that if they're there or not, give them a call, see if the place is open, see if they're still taking customers, clients, patrons. So you're not waiting outside. You get to an area and now you have to rely on the train to get back, or go somewhere where there's not going to be a lot of foot traffic, or just have to wait someplace to wait for an Uber in a place that you just don't know. Especially if you're, it can happen in a big city, but it can happen even in a more rural or suburban area. Just calling ahead can make your life a lot easier. It can also make the business life a lot easier because now they're expecting people when they're ready to close. But just a little bit of logistics can save you a lot of time and energy and stress and aggravation for all. Also, don't be, and this is part of what we covered before, don't be the last one to leave, because part of a lot of these social gatherings, even though the article that came out a couple weeks ago was that young people are smoking and drinking less, and a lot of it is because, let's face it, they're not interacting as much, but also the dangers of drinking on campus as well as social gatherings, the dangers that come with them have been publicized for the last probably 20 years now. But you don't want to be the last one to leave, because alcohol, as social as they might say it is, alcohol is one of those things that it changes behavior, whether it's, but it also makes you think that you are funnier. It makes you think that it lowers your inhibition. And in lowering your inhibition, you're not going to know what's happening to you or what happened to you after whatever happens. When asked the next morning, okay, what happened? Oh, I don't know. Well, we were both drinking and something happened. And especially if you're in a place that you don't know a lot of people, and let's be honest, all these bars that we go to that you frequent, you don't know anybody there. You don't know who you're standing next to. So you just because people are there having a good time doesn't mean that you know them. Even it could be the bartender. Does he have connections with anyone else? Don't just take people at face value, but what connections that do they have that can bring danger to you? Sometimes the friendlier somebody appears, that's why you have to look out, because why in a place where everyone is being so inhibited and this person is being friendly to me, they're trying to signal to me that it's good for me to lower my defenses, and in doing so you make choices and decisions that you wouldn't ordinarily do in other circumstances. It's a playbook that everybody uses, especially the government. Trust your instincts. So if something doesn't look right, it probably isn't right. Is that always the case? No. Is it the case probably 75% of the time? Yes. If something doesn't look right, if you know you're walking in an area that there are no lights, and there's a main street that has a whole bunch of lights and businesses, but you think to take a shortcut, I'm going to take a shortcut through this alley just to get to where I'm going sooner, you probably could have gifted those 4 minutes to your safety that would have taken you to get to the train, just so you can be in a better situation in case you had to defend yourself, or in case somebody had to defend you. You put people in a lot of bad situations by not making good decisions when you have the opportunity to make good decisions. And we all do it. Let's face it. We've all been young. We've all been in situations where we're in places that we know that we probably shouldn't be, and your family starts flashing before your eyes, your children start flashing before your eyes, or you're in a building where you don't belong, or a place where you know you shouldn't be, but you just are there in that situation, and you have this flash of perspective that this is possibly a situation that you are not going to be able to get out of. I saw a man in a mine, going through a mine. I don't even remember what country it was, but it looked to be here in the United States. And he dropped his bag maybe 100 feet into this mine. And he put on his spelunking light and went into the cave, and just to see what was at the other end of the cave. And he just kept going for what looked to be probably a couple of miles. And it was captivating to see what he was going to find, or if he found anything at all. But the most important thing he said was at the beginning of the video, when he spoke about having a wife and 6 kids. That's probably a situation that you don't want to be in with a wife and 6 kids. You're there by yourself. You're recording yourself. I know that you want another method of income, but it's possibly not the best idea, especially no one knows that you're there. If something happens, it probably won't be until days later that you're discovered there, even if it's something that you always do. Is this going to stop anybody from doing it? Probably not, if you're really into it, but just know the dangers that come along with it. Always come pre-prepared, even if it's with an extra flare, even if it's with some kind of device to deter danger. Just be ready for the unexpected and expect the unexpected. And trust your instincts. If you're in a subway car and you're sitting in a wagon that you're the only one there, move to the front. Even if it's you have to go between cars, even if it's when the doors open on one stop, you make your way towards the middle of the car, usually the most crowded section of the car. But that's not enough. You have to, especially if you work at midnight or past midnight, or have to go to work real early in the morning. It's always beneficial if just make contact with a few trusted faces and you get to know them so that you are no longer strangers. I know it's difficult to do. I know for some people it's easier than others, right? We're in the age of the introvert where everybody is a self-made introvert without really being it, but they just want to be in their own world. You have to get to know some people, even if it's the conductor of the train, because a lot of safety is provided through just acknowledgement, knowing who's around you, people knowing that you exist. So I know when I used to take the bus early in the morning from North Philadelphia to West Philadelphia, I'm talking about almost 10 years ago now, I knew everybody on that bus and I knew who was missing, because especially if you have a fixed time schedule, you know who is not on the bus at a certain time. Even the driver knows. So have your keys ready, trust your instincts. If you are jogging, these noise canceling headphones give you optimal audio clarity, but not real world sanity. Meaning that just know that I've seen videos of shootings of people wearing these noise canceling headphones. They do not even know the shooting has just happened beside them or in front of them or in back of them, because it puts you again in your own sheltered world where the audio warning signals that would ordinarily be present have now been what? Canceled. So what noise canceling headphones actually do is cancel your common sense, because you no longer are able to use that sense of hearing to protect yourself in public. So if you're jogging, and another thing, if you're going to be jogging, I've seen a lot of people just move into a neighborhood that has a history of high crime, or even if it's a rural area, go jogging way before the sun comes out, way before anybody has woken up, and just deciding that's the perfect time for them to run. Just deciding like, well, nothing's going to happen to me, or I'm just strong and I don't see many guys out at that time, but I've seen a lot of women run at unfathomable hours of the morning, at night, just to get in their jog. I get it. You live inside an apartment. You work inside places that don't have a lot of social interactions with the outside world, and you want to be out, but don't do it. Why? If you must do it, find 2 or 3 other people you can run with. But even then, I would say find a better time to do it and find a better way to do it. But way too many women I see running on their own at that time. I don't get it. If you get it, please just let us know why. This is a trend that's been going on for years now. Now, another thing you can do to help you stay alert, to help you keep safe, wear something else. Yes, wear something else. What you wear will say a lot about who and what you represent to the outside world. Meaning, what you wear can say this person's a target, just like we said with the tuck chains. If you're wearing something that can easily trigger someone else, as far as, hey, now this person went from looking like just a regular person to bait. And I know a lot of politics will tell you, social politics, recent social politics will tell you, wearing something should not mean that this happens to me. But just like if I decide to go into whatever area that I want to go to and say, well, I feel I shouldn't have to pay for this, even though everyone else is paying for it, then I have to welcome the consequences that come along with it. Whether I believe it's right or wrong, your job is to make yourself less of a target. I see a lot of college girls and guys commit this error. Girls, in that it could be 20 degrees out in the winter, and they're out there trying to impress the guys with mini skirts, with high heels, where you don't see any mini skirts and high heels, but they just do it to get to the bar. It's freezing out, so they're already not thinking with their full mental capacity. Not only that, but once alcohol is added into the equation, once peer pressure is added to the equation, then we are in the realm of stupid decisions that I've seen way too many times in major cities. Afterwards, would you rather take the precaution of wearing something else or become a stat in someone's book that you might not even get to see, a news article, a visual that you might not even get to see because you tempted fate in a way that it did not need to be tempted? I've seen guys commit the same sort of thing, but to a lesser extent. But being in areas where, again, they don't necessarily look like they fit in, but they are drunk out of their minds, and something that alcohol does, it makes you feel like you're braver than you are. It makes you feel like you're more powerful or dangerous in certain situations. Some might say it reveals who you really are, and they don't consider that they have to get home once they're getting drunk or being the life of the party. Sometimes their friends leave them. Sometimes they're alone to make decisions that they're supposed to be making while they're sober. A lot of bad can happen from just, you're in the middle of whatever area, you're dressed like you have $1,000 in each pocket, you might become a target. Whether it's right or wrong, your job is to stop yourself from looking like a target wherever you go and be alert. So with alcohol being an inhibitor of good decisions and common sense, and it's all going through your system, you put yourself in that situation if you decide not to change what you wear. And if you're going to go like that, what I'm saying is not going to help, it's not going to stop you from doing it, take a change of clothes. What you wear will attract a certain kind of attention. There's no way around that. So cross the street, look back, tuck in your chains, have your keys ready, choose a different path, leave before it's too late, call ahead. Don't be the last one to leave. Trust your instincts, have your keys ready, cancel your noise canceling headphones, wear something else. But this is just in case. See you next time.